Hi, this is Liz, and I'm here to talk about my behavior change project. Uh, Hopefully this video goes well. I'm struggling with a head cold, and so I'm very congested. Might be a lot of sniffling, as well as the fact that this is about the fourth try, as YouTube keeps cutting out on me, and I just recorded an entire 10-minute video, and it wouldn't record. So here goes nothing. Hopefully you guys are all having better luck with your videos than I am. The client that I used for my behavior change project was a 7-year-old girl with autism spectrum disorder. She attends ABA services at a private clinic where I work. She is there 5 days a week for a total of 30 hours per week. Her target behavior is self-injury, which was defined as anytime she made contact with the skin on her arm with her teeth, or the skin on her knees with her teeth, or attempted to do so. And since this was a behavior that had a clear start and end point, the behavior was tracked using frequency. All tutors that worked with her were given a clicker to keep track of behavior. Originally, we thought that we knew what the function of the behavior was, but we wanted to run an FA just to be sure. So we ran an in vivo FA. This was a bit of a challenge as there's not a lot of research on in vivo FAs, and so it wasn't exactly the easiest thing to set up the protocol and to teach the staff how to run it. But I feel like based on previous experience with trying to change her environment or staffing and having increased rates of challenging behavior, this was the best option so that we could get a clear picture of the function of her behavior. After the FA was run, it was discovered that her challenging behavior was maintained both by attention and escape. The intervention that we chose to use for this behavior was the use of protective equipment contingent on the first attempt of SIB, along with a DRI, which was for use of a Chewy. We gave her a Chewy and worked on reinforcing her using that rather than engaging in the SIB. My original plan was to follow what most of the research I had seen showed, which was to use the protective equipment in a non-contingent manner. However, I ran into the roadblock of the fact that she would not wear the protective equipment for very long, and so to get her to wear it throughout her day was not a feasible task. I decided that using one instance of SIB and then having her put the protective equipment on was a more realistic option and would give me more reliable data. So she would put the protective equipment on after one instance of attempted or actual SIB, and she would wear it for 5 minutes past the last attempt of SIB. Also, again, we did the DRI for use of the Chewy throughout her day. This did decrease the behavior after we started using the protective equipment. The interesting things that I ran into with this was the fact that she was out sick several days and her behaviors did not ever seem to be really at a level point, whereas if I wasn't doing a project for school, I'm not sure that I would have instituted the intervention at the time that I did, but because I was on a limited time frame for this being due, I had to put the intervention into place. The FA took a lot of time because we had to continue on. We thought that we had a clear function, and then the data started to decline in those areas. So again, it was really tricky with her to get clear data and a upward or downward trend. It was sort of sporadic all over the place. The two other challenges that I ran into was the fact that she wouldn't wear the protective equipment, which created a big challenge in my mind, but I was able to find other research that showed that you could also use the protective equipment just contingent on the first instance. The reason that I used the protective equipment was because it was a way to block further injury, as she already did have some damage to her skin, without giving attention. Since the behavior was multiply maintained with attention and escape, we needed to be able to block it so that we could continue working without giving attention, and the protective equipment allowed us to do that. The other downfall was that there was no real time to generalize because of the time frame that I was on for the class and the fact that I took a little extra time to get my project approved, and so I was a little late starting it, and she was out sick. There are a lot of confounding variables there in getting things done. The BCBA that I'm working with, however, is interested in seeing this project out to potentially present it at the BAM conference here in Michigan in February. And so hopefully through working through these things at the clinic, we'll be able to generalize it to home as well and see her be more successful with that. This is the graph. As you can see, there was not really ever too much, well, maybe you can't see. There was not ever really too much of a steady rate, and the behaviors did spike during this time when we were running the FA, and you can see the blanks where she was out frequently, out sick. But the behavior did decrease after the intervention, so hopefully we've found a solid intervention for her that will help decrease this behavior, as it is both socially unacceptable as well as it could be causing harm to her body. So thanks for watching, and good luck to everyone on finals.